Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I promised that I was going to be back in my last video. I promised I was going to be back to talk to you about paper crafting pumpkins. And this is what I came up with. And also, I actually, see, it opens like this. Isn't that so cool? And I actually came up with another, these are not my designs. I'm just going to show you how to put them together. But I came up with this very big and really adorable 3D pumpkin. And this is from SVG Cuts. And then in a later video, also from SVG Cuts, I want to show you this geometric, isn't this adorable? This geometric pumpkin. But today we are going to be focusing on this oversized, I call them Cinderella pumpkins. I don't know. Perhaps they could be jack-o'-lanterns, but for right now they aren't. They don't have a face cut out of them. But this is all, this file, again, it's not my design, but I'm going to talk you through how to put it together. The great thing about SVG Cuts and Mary at SVG Cuts is she just has so many wonderful ideas, and she packs, I mean literally packs in at I think at least five projects in each of her kits. And if you are someone who maybe doesn't have a whole lot of time to watch the entire video, it sometimes can be difficult to really understand how the videos are put together, and how the items are put together in the kit. So what I have come to find out is that sometimes it's best if I just focus on one or two of the projects that are in the kit. And in this case, I am focusing on these pumpkins. So you can see when you purchase, this is a file that you would purchase from SVG Cuts, and you would download and then upload to your design space. And then you would follow the directions, as well as if you want to watch the part in her video, which is I think like over an hour long. But if you just want to learn how to put together the pumpkin, that's what I'm doing today. So stay with me and we'll learn how to put together these fabulous 3D pumpkins. So here is the 3D pumpkin in all of its glory. Isn't it fabulous? This it's made entirely of paper, and we also use glue to hold it all together. I think I've mentioned before, just about any glue will do, but right now I'm totally crushing on this one called Art Glitter Glue. It has no glitter in it, but it's called Art Glitter Glue. And I got these at, I think it's called I got this plus a huge refill, and it has a special tip. I think that's why I'm crushing on it so badly. But it has a special tip that is, metal. It doesn't clog, and you put this little pin in there to keep it from clogging. So I really do like that. The paper that I used, and by the way, I got that, I think I got it at createforless.com. You might want to check them out. They have a lot of paper. Actually, I think I might have gotten this paper, which is basil paper, in the pumpkin color. But I also wanted to point out, you don't have to do this traditional pumpkin color. You can do Cinderella pumpkins, right? Those are the off-white ones. You can do some other colors of orange, like that. Or whatever, black even if you wanted, or I'm not sure if glitter paper would work very well on these projects, but it could certainly be tried. And again, these are made of paper. You're not going to be able to put like flowers or anything in there, but perhaps if you wanted to, you could put an arrangement of fake flowers in there, or maybe a little treat inside for on your desk. This is a very large pumpkin. So let me show you how this goes together. I will tell you, this took me a while to figure out, okay? And again, this file is from SVG Cuts, the Harvest Sunset, and I watched the video on how to put this pumpkin together, I don't know, several dozen times before I kind of got the hang of it. The thing is that it's big, and so it uses quite a bit of paper. In fact, there's 6 sheets alone of that pumpkin, of the flesh part, and then there's 1 sheet for the leaves and 1 sheet for the stem. What you have, looking at that can get a little overwhelming, but one of the tricks that I learned is that basically Mary has divided this whole process into sections. And once you can understand the sections, so first go through and cut everything, and then sort the like pieces. So you've got this middle piece, right? You got this middle piece and the 2 sides, and then also this bottom piece. And this is going to constitute, there's 8 of these. You're going to put together 8 of these sections, and then you're going to put the entire pumpkin together once you put the sections together. This is how I work. I don't know how anybody else works, but this, just wanted to let you know that this is how my brain thinks, is that if I focus on the fact that it's 8 sections and they're all identical, it makes it a lot easier for me to work through the project. So again, so what I've done is I've put the middle pieces, and then there is this, like, the bottom. That is what you're going to put the actual very bottom. So it's kind of like the near the bottom section. You add that and you glue this together, and you're folding in all of these score lines. And then you take these 2 pieces, again, they've cut out, and you're gonna, fold them at the score lines, and you're going to add them. I'm gonna try to show you, but I glued each of the pieces together here. Right? Just so you can see. This is 1 section, and there are indeed 8 sections. I am not going to show you how to put this entire thing together. I'm going to take a few shortcuts so you can see what is going on, but I want you to understand how the process works. So you have these 8 sections. Now, what about the cover, right? Well, the cover is its own section. This is three of the pieces that are glued together to form like a little cup. You see? And I've glued all 3 of those sections together. And so the next step that I want to do is I want to show you how I glue these sections together to make this completed stem, cover and stem. Okay. The stem itself works up fairly quickly, but just so you know, it is also 8 pieces, and it's a matter of just simply working. You have to be very patient with this part of the project. But you got to work with each of the pieces, and each of the pieces have cut out on it. Let me see if you can see this. That's a 5. Let me show you that. You see that? So each of these pieces is labeled 1 through 8, and you're going to go through the process of attaching number 1. If I can find number 1, you're going to be attaching number 1 to number 2, and then attaching number 2 to number 3, and so on and so forth. And just to kind of point this out, the stem itself is really kind of cool. It's really very authentic looking. So so what I mean by that is that, it's not this straight up stem. It's got a curve to it, and that's what just a really good designer, obviously, but that's what makes her design so special. Mary's design so special. But so when you put these together, actually, you're not going to be like lining them up side by side. You're going to actually use the guide of where this edge meets this. You see? And then what that makes is it's not going to be lying flat. It's sort of curved, but that's going to help you, because as you go along and you add piece 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 to the 8th to make the completed one, it gives that curve to the stem. Just so Awesome. So anyway, so you put that together. I'm not going to take a lot of time to show you how to do that because frankly, I think it's just one of those patience things. But and then to put the rest of this together, and I'm going to just show you up close. So you see here, there are 8 sections. That's what these 3 are. And I'm going to make a Cinderella pumpkin, right? So that's what these are. They're 8 sections. They consist of 3 of the pieces, and they are put together, and they are not flat. They have a curve to it, so it looks like a little cup. Okay, and then you're going to go to the process of connecting each of these together with the next one, right? So we have 8, and let's just get some little bit of glue on the tabs. And here you go. We're gonna just kind of glue up. I got a dog pushing on my arm here. Hi, Benji. So you are going to use that glue, making sure that it's attaching to those tabs, and you're going to continue to add the next tab and the next tab, and pretty soon you'll have a complete circle without the stem, you see. And that's when after you have the complete circle, that's when you're going to put your stem in. I want to just show you here on the back, there are these tabs at the very end of these brown pieces. You see, that's where the numbers are. Okay. You see, that's where the numbers are. So these tabs are these tabs, and they come up and then they fold towards the inside edge of the cover, right? And against it. Now, it's not flat. So one of the things that you should do, and there is a piece for that. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. Okay, here it is glue this one up. This was created for the inside of this. So you're going to glue it up. And I would suggest that you put the glue on the inner ring and then a little bit on each of the spokes of this wheel. And then glue it in place. It just gives it a lot more of a sturdy feel. Keeps those things together in case perhaps you missed a little section of glue as well. So that is how you do the cover. The greenery on the pumpkin's very simple. It's just one cutout, and I actually just took my fingers and sort of these little tendrils. I don't know what they're called. I don't know. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. But anyway, I just sort of got them so that they're a little more 3D and played around with it on my cover, right? And then I used a very little amount of glue to, and you can play with this, right? You can play with it and make it look however way you want it to look, So, okay, so that's the cover. That is the completed cover to our pumpkin. Now, what about the actual pumpkin itself? Again, it consists of 4 pieces. There is an inner piece. This is the side that's going to be on the outside. There's an inner piece, and there's 2 pieces, one for each side. They're separate pieces. They're not interchangeable, okay? And then there's also down here, this little piece is kind of squared, which kind of squares off all of those pieces. So as I mentioned at the beginning, here's what I do. I take that squared off piece, and see it has a nice fold in it as well, and I'm going to glue it together with the flesh. I'm going to call it the flesh. That's the main or the middle piece, I suppose. And then again, I've come back and I've put these 2 sides here. And I wanted to show you. See, this one is very different. This has the what you call them, folds on both sides, the tabs, and this one only has it on one side. That's because when we complete all 8 pieces of this pumpkin, and by the way, this is I'm going to show you how to put one together with the glue, but this is what a completed one looks like. You're going to end up with like this 8 little boats, I suppose, with the jagged edges on one side. And then once we have all of our sections done, completed, then we can begin the process of putting them together like this. And I'll show you in just a second how to do that. Okay, so just so you know, in terms of, this is all about the way that you place these pieces, okay? And I am working on the inside edge, and this is a matter of just going through and putting glue on every one of these tabs, right? I wish I could say I had like an even easier way to put this together. I don't, but believe me, it is so worth it. The completed project. You will be so proud of yourself, and you might even consider making a second one or a third one, or giving them away, which I have already started doing. I think I've given away 2 so far, so and I have one that's promised. So and then you see I've got all the glue on the inside edge, right? I'm going to flip it over and make sure that that seam is, and you still have that nice give when you're working with liquid glue, don't you? And so you're going to train the paper to give this a nice clean edge. So you work with it a little bit, you see? And you do the same thing on this side with the tabs and the glue, and turning it into, as I mentioned, these sections of 8 sections of pumpkin, right? This being the bottom, the squared off piece being the bottom. And then you're going to, once you get all your 8 sections together, you're going to go through the process of connecting these sections together. Same technique. It's just a little bit of glue, a whole lot of paper, and it's some know-how. And you're going to get this completed pumpkin. So hope I'm working in the camera. Okay. So I'm putting the glue on all of those. And you'll note too that the tabs are pushed upward. It's just going to make it easier when you're putting the sections together. Okay. So you take the next section, make sure you have the bottoms aligned. And then you're going to ever so patiently, I'm going to say, start to work putting each section together. Remember, there are 8 sections. So what I usually do is I make all my sections and then I pair them like I'm doing here. And so then I have 4 sections, right? Then, where is my, here it is. Then I take each of the 2 sections, and so I take, this is 2, this is 2, so then I have half of the pumpkin together, and I end up with 2 halves, right? And it's just a matter of, wait, I gotta make sure that the right side is up, right? And it's just a matter of using your glue again and gluing together these 2 half sections of pumpkin. You're not quite done once you have gotten this point. You have your top done, you've got the body, the main part of the body, but what you have to do is you have to finish it off, because you know it's a project is never complete until you do the finish work. You know, it's the stuff that if you don't do it, people will point out to you. They won't recognize all the hard work that you did. So the finish work is very simple, because the 2 pieces form a hexagon. Maybe it's an octagon. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, duh. It's 8 sections, so it makes an octagon, and you put that octagon on the bottom, and you actually put another one in the bottom inside. I think that's for stability, and so it gives it a little more weight. I'm not really terribly sure why she does that. Maybe it's just an issue of creating a finished product, but making it look more finished. I don't know. But this is the completed project. Isn't it amazing? I'm sorry that I took a little bit longer to explain this, and I suppose I could have kept the camera running so you could watch every single step, but I wanted to break it down so you can see, and then, you know, get to a certain point and then pause it and come back and do the next step. Everything is possible when you break it down into easily manageable steps, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching. So that's it. This is how you make this 3D pumpkin with the cover that comes off, and it's just so gorgeous. You'll have to find a place to put it away for every year to decorate your office or your home, because it really is just so precious, and just a real kind of a jaw-dropping effect. So I hope you will try this. Remember, the file is from SVG Cuts, and the name of the kit that it's in is called Harvest Sunset. And it's one of 5 projects that Mary has put into this kit. In addition, I want to just show you in this kit, in addition to the pumpkin, there are also several other items that we'll probably go over. This box card with, isn't that adorable, with the sunflower and the pumpkin and the crow, and also some beautiful sunflowers that we're going to make into a wreath coming up. And also, don't forget, we're going to be going over this geometric pumpkin, so you're not going to want to miss any of my videos. So please subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you for coming, and have a wonderful day.